Okay, so I've started labelling up these cables. We've got E temp, B temp, which are those two. We've now got a Z stop and Y stop. This is Z stop. Which is the stop at the top. Which is probably, where's the Z stop? There must be a stop at the top of the unit. That's something I need to look and find out exactly where all these stops are. That's the Z. The Y, which is the back of the bed. So that would be in, that would be that one just in there, I'm assuming. That little switch in there. That's the Y. That's the hot end. I've heard mention with these boards that these connectors aren't beefy enough for the current going through them. So I don't know if that's the problem I've had, but it's not a bad idea moving these all over to new connectors. We've got two power leads in there. I'll take them off in seconds. This one is that's the E motor. We've got two Z motors, which are the two up and down, one on each side. So they're in, well, I suppose they're in parallel. It'll be interesting to see if they're in series or parallel, but they're wired in two separate connectors. Again, with the, I can't tell if they're paralleled actually. No, you can't. Yeah, they are. Oh, they're in parallel. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're wired in parallel. It's those two white connectors. So they're the Zs. They're the two up, which are those two motors there. You know, I think it's not worth labelling the cables. It's just a habit I've got into, because there's always a surprise if you don't label up something. You suddenly don't know what it is after taking it apart, or there's some issue inside or something. So it is worth it. That's the Y, which is that one. So looking at the board, it's the same. I think it is. Yeah. So the Y motor and Y end stop are the reds. The Z motors are in white, and there's the Z stop there. X motor and X stop are in black, so it is colour coded, so that's quite good actually, so it wouldn't be too hard to work out, but I'm still going to label them. Right, the next two are, you can see it's slightly different on these are plug-in ones, in fact, which is quite interesting. I don't know if you can see that, but that has got thoroughly overheated and has burnt a bit. So that's what I was saying about people talking about these connectors as being not up to the power rating that's going through them. I think that's a good example. I don't know what that was like. That's sort of very crunchy. Yeah, that's burnt as well. So both of those have overheated. This is the original board. On these, they don't have these, because this is actually a plug-in connector. It's burnt itself in, but these green ones are meant to be soldered on, and these orange Phoenix ones plug into the green one. So you've got an extra connection going on in there. So you've got two connections. You've got the wire going into the plug, and then the plug going into the socket. So there's a double connection going on in there. In this new type, they screw straight onto the board. So that's probably one of the major upgrades to this board. But it's, as I say, it still hasn't solved the problem of the board playing up a bit. I'm going to move that out of the way. Now I've got two sets of cables. I've got hotbed and can't see what the other says, so let's label up hotbed first and pull that apart. It's hotbed and power written on this one. Right, so power is the obviously is the incoming, so that's coming off the power supply. That's 12 volt in to that one, so we can lose him. So once I've disconnected that, we can put it in bits actually. Okay, so that is now can be taken away. There's the little SD card, which I'm just going to move out because that's going to get snapped off. I've been a little bit worried about that. Just sitting. It's always a bit of a worry that in there. If you push something against it, you're just going to smash the SD card off and probably damage the connector at the same time. So it's not brilliant. There's a little switch there, which I can't remember what people say it does. I assume that little adjuster in the middle there is for contrast, and the S1 switch, I have read about it and I cannot remember what it's meant to do. Right, I thought before I went any further, I thought I'd slightly reassemble the original case just to get it out of the way. Otherwise I'm going to have bits all over the place. I'm going to take the power supply off. These are Allen keys, but I think they've been filled with something to stop you taking them off accidentally. So they sort of... Yeah, just to recap, to take the power supply off this bottom plate, you've just got to manually undo these. Although these are Allen key bolts on there, they've filled them so you don't accidentally stick an Allen key in and drop the unit off when you're taking the lid off, I assume is what they're trying to do. Yeah, there we go. So that's the base. I'm going to put... I'll leave the old board in the... Right, I've put all this back together again just so I don't lose all the bits and pieces. Because I don't know if I'm ever going to use that, but rather than have it lying around. I've taken the fan off. I've got the original, these are the isolator things, which I'll just push in here just for the time being. So I want to keep this Noctua one. If you've never bought these, they come in fantastic boxes as well. I've kept the old box, which is here. This is the 120mm premium fan I bought last time, and it comes with all the bits and pieces. In here there's in fact the old back panel. In fact, you can have a look at it. Hold on. That's the old back panel fan for the Wanhoa. Maybe I'll put. So that used to just sit in there. So it used to be, you know, one of these cheapy little fans, and it used to be really, really, really annoying. Those cheap little things. One thing worth looking at. You've also got these voltage reducers, which basically drop down the speed of the fan if you've not got it under control. So they're quite. It's quite a nice little setup. It's a very nice little setup. These things. So I'm going to put that back in because I've used a couple of these on my computer, and they are so silent. It's fantastic. Speaking of Noctua fans, I've noticed on the new Prusa, on the Joseph original the J Prusa model, he's on his Mark III, because I've bought a Mark IIs and I only bought it about 6 weeks ago, and now he's brought the new model out, which is a little bit annoying. So I think a few other people are a bit annoyed, but he's upgraded the fans to the Noctua, the little baby ones. He's got a load of other mods on it as well, but specifically upgraded the fans to the silent ones, which I might do on this one. He's got an upgrade kit to bring the two Mark IIs to a 2.5. I think it's not out yet, but I'm just looking at the his stuff on. There's been a trade show this week, so I've just been having a look at that, and he's got various new leveling things. So I was going to do something of that on my Prusa, which is fine. I don't think it improves the printing quality, but it's just got some nice little functions. One of the functions that I can add into the Wanhoa is bed leveling, which I might as well do. I've never really found a big problem with setting up the manual leveling on this. I mean, it is annoying, but once you've got it right, it's not been too bad. So it's never been that much of an issue. I think some people don't like it, but I haven't, as I say, I haven't found too much of a problem. So back to my I've been wanting to take this apart for ages, actually. So we've got 3 separate looms now. This is the loom that's going to the board. So we've got the power. Those were the old ones. That's for the heater. That was for the temperatures. There must be a temperature sensor in there. On the right hand side, going into the make space again. On the right hand side, going into the Z up and down, we've got the hot end, because that's feeding into this whole assembly here via the drive chain down there. So we've got the hot end, we've got the fans, 2 fans, the extruder temperature gauge, which is that little one in there, and the other fan. So we've got 2 fans in there, haven't we? So we've got that fan and the fan on the bed. Coming out of the actual base of the unit, we've got these ones. So we've got the Z motor. So they're these 2 bottom motors to drive the thing up and down, and we'll have the left and right, the Z stop. So that's all basically those cables. So let's have a look underneath it.